What's up, guys? It's Coach Russ with Uncommon Ministries. Football season is coming up. It's dog time. Looking back today, I want to talk with you about something that's called a new thing. I can remember being a Georgia fan growing up, and I was a little bit of a Clemson fan, and I like Tennessee too as well. Now, a lot of Georgia fans don't understand that, but I can remember when Georgia fans would live back in 1980. Up to the past 2 years. And 1980 national champions, we used to get made fun of by the rest of the SEC because we would always refer back to 1980. Everybody's like, man, it's been 40 years since y'all won a national championship. Well, the last 2 years, of course, has been quiet. Hope there'll be a three-peat in the future. But that leads to where I wanted to talk with you today about something called not living in the past and how it can be okay, but how it really can hurt you. As far as things for thinking toward the future, I know I get stuck in my head in the past sometimes, especially things that maybe weren't positive, or I'll tell myself, oh, those were great things, or those good old days. Really, a lot of times the good old days weren't always the good old days either. So Isaiah 43:18 says, remember not the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth, but do you not perceive it? All right. The past is not as great as you remember. Okay, maybe compared to your current reality, looking backwards sounds appealing. All right, but the truth is, we all live in the past with rose-colored glasses sometimes. It's not as magical as you remember. At some point, the not-so-distant past, you were unhappy with where your life was heading, maybe. You got in a fight with someone important to you. You said something harsh to somebody you shouldn't have. You thought about leaving your job. You yelled at your kids. You were incurring more credit card debt. Living in the past fixes our attention on pretty much a recipe for disaster. If we're staying there, our eyes aren't forward. We'll talk about that in just a second. Something new is happening. All right? Whether we like it or not, we need to be in the present for it. All right? Nothing wrong with looking back unless you stay stuck there. And that can lead you to a spot where I stay stuck in the past thinking things will never be like they used to be. Guess what? They won't. They won't be like they used to be. Because, see, we serve a God who is a God of new. Things will be better than they used to be. All right. If you have the faith and belief and set the system in place to do that. All right. Furthermore, a new thing always requires new attitudes. All right. Your old lazy brain, all right, new attitudes looking forward, your lazy brain wouldn't just rather not do that. It would rather leave that alone. Okay. A guy I read stuff from named Brian Tomei wrote this a little bit of this in a devotional. He says, I'm writing this, this was during COVID. He said, I'm writing this, the world is slogging through COVID-19 pandemic. It's probably the most significant historical event I've lived through. The virus and aftermath has completely shuffled the deck on almost everything we thought and knew about life. It's okay, even healthy, to grieve in the past that we missed. How many people got something through COVID? We lost a lot of great people. I'm not talking about people who lost. I'm talking, was it a time where you just went with it and it was gloom and doom and you just let things go? There was a part of that I did. Or was it a time where maybe you got a little bit more focused on things that were more important? Maybe it made you spend more time with family or more time with God. Okay, I kind of was in the mix of both of that. It says here, Brian says, he says, I'll go first. I miss going to the movies with my wife. I miss having drinks with friends at an indoor bar. I miss going to the office, pulling pranks on my coworkers. I miss my normal workout routine and not having to wear a mask everywhere I go. I miss gathering with people in auditoriums and preaching. And that was not so long ago. I think a lot of us can remember all that. He says, I miss it all. But the time that I spend reflecting on the things that I miss, here's the key. The less time I have to move forward into today. The further back you look, the more stress you're going to have right now. The more time you spend reminiscing about how things used to be, the greater your potential for depression or listless or apathy or grief. All right, if we're going to move forward, we have to come back to peace with the difficult truth. The glory days are not coming back. Okay, I remember people say that to the Georgia fans. The glory days aren't coming back in 1980. Hey, but guess what? Last 2 years, national championships on the board. Okay, the prophet Isaiah tells us not to look back. He says we are to forget our former way of life and even the things that God used to do. He is not a God of the past. Man, our God is a God of the future going forward. All right. We must train our eyes to see the new springs of life that he brings forth. I know that when I would coach, I would tell my players, I'm like, listen, if your eyes see grass, number one, you're going to break your neck. All right. Number two, you can't function if my eyes are looking down on the grass. I can't make a play. I can't make a catch. I can't make a tackle. I cannot run the ball. If my head sees grass, my eyes have to be up. Mario Andretti was interviewed by Darren Hardy, and he was one of the most successful Formula racing drivers there are. And he said, hey, what is the number one key to being the most successful? He said, don't look at the wall. Seems simple, doesn't it? All right, a guy who is tight roping across buildings, all right, holding that line 100 stories up or 10 stories up. All right, what happens if he looks down? He's going to fall. Why? Because our body follows our eyes. If I'm looking this way, my body's going to do. You know that if you're in the car and you get distracted with something, your body follows your eyes. All right, life is always moving forward. You can navel gaze in the past and miss what's happening right now, or you can be in the present and move forward. A runner cannot win a race when he's looking down at the ground. He's already covered. If I'm a long distance runner and look back at the area I've covered, I'm not going to win that race. I can't move forward. I'm too busy thinking about and dwelling in the past. All right. People miss their exes and their relationships. You're not going to make it. It's not going to be productive. It's not going to be a productive friendship or relationship. A championship team won't win another by watching the highlight reel of last year's. Your life is lived in the present with eye toward the future. It's time to be there. I know when I was a coach, when we would prepare all week. Starting Saturday, we'd trade and watch film. Sunday, we'd have a coaches meeting. Monday through Friday, Thursday, we would practice. Friday night, we win the game. All right. Friday night, the players and the coaches, we all enjoyed it. It was a great win, all that stuff. It was back to work Saturday morning, the next morning. Hopefully the players could enjoy Saturday at least, but you could not do it. We couldn't look back and dwell on how great we did. Now, we graded ourselves, but we couldn't look back and say, oh, we did this, we did that. Let's stay in this win, because we had to be prepared for the next week. If we weren't prepared for the next week, then it would lessen our chances of winning again. So no matter what state of your life you're in, if you are looking backwards, you'll miss the new things that's happening in the present. Open your eyes, find the new thing, invest in it, live right now. All right. Life right now is not the new normal. All right. It's just normal. It's here to stay. The sooner we embrace that mentality, the healthier everything around us will be. So keep pressing forward. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you joining us. If you can, please subscribe to our YouTube channel for Uncommon Ministry. It's Uncommon-Ministries. If you need area and life coaching, anything else that we can help you with, we'll do that. We'll be happy to take you on as one of our clients. But I want to say this prayer closing out with you. All right, God, I am sorry for the time I've wasted in the past. Despite whatever challenges I may be facing, I want to be here right now because I trust you. I trust you are springing forth a new thing. Give me wisdom to take action on that new thing today. Amen. All right. So reflect right now. I'll give you two things to move on with. Reflect right now. What's the biggest challenge you're facing in your life right now? What is the biggest challenge you're facing in your life right now? I'm going to give you 24 hours. You name the challenge. All right. Above, I want you to ask God for wisdom on how to act. Now do something about it. Text a friend right now and tell them what you're going to do. And then ask them to check back in 24 hours later. All right. That accountability, that little bit of thing right there will keep you moving. All right. Keep you moving forward. All right, we love you. God bless you. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and go Dogs.